It's going to be a short one.
It's a short one. There's a zillion tabs open.
There's 15 tabs open.
That's a zillion.
That's 15. There are weeks we've done like 32 tabs. Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
Hi, I'm Rena.
And today we're doing what we backed for the month of June. Yes, I spent the past 3 minutes in my head mentally practicing that so I can say it without pausing whatsoever. Aren't you proud? You know, a second ago you said, what are you doing? I was thinking. I was like, which month is it? Which month is it? Okay, I got it. We're good to go. Yes, this is what we backed for the month of June. As usual, in general, the way this works is we're looking at Kickstarters and crowdfunding campaigns that ended in the month of June. So if you're asking the always question, I get this every single time, by the way. There's always someone who's like, what about this Kickstarter? Because it ends July 13th and it just happened to partially take place in June. I don't answer those. So if you want to know if I'm backing Cyberpunk 2077, the answer is yes, but that's immaterial. It's not a June Kickstarter. Rena's like taking notes. Cyberpunk 2077. It's okay. You're not going to have a hard time figuring it out next time. Do you know the publishers?
No.
Guess who the publishers?
Simon.
Oh, okay. There you go. You see? Wasn't that hard? I told you. Okay, easy guess there. Although there are times, infrequent times, where I have not backed a Command Kickstarter.
See? That did happen to me one time. I was like, oh, it's Simon. Then you clearly backed
Very infrequent. Very infrequent.
And
So,
I knew that you didn't.
Basically, these are the Kickstarters that ended in the month of June. June, if you didn't already know, was a fairly light month. You probably didn't already know this. But
June was a very busy month.
Well, not... Okay, our lives were busy. Kickstarter was not busy. Our lives are always busy.
It's nice to know something was quiet on the quieter end.
Yeah. And that's going to continue into July to a degree. So we have fewer Kickstarters. Right now, for this month, we have 15 that we're looking at. As usual, these are Kickstarters that ended the month of June and Kickstarters that I had an interest in backing. I only count these if they are Kickstarters that I want. Whether or not I back them is a different conversation because of the whole shelf control conversation. But these are Kickstarters I actively want. If you want to send them to me, I'll take them. I will. Except for the ones I backed. I'll take those too, honestly. I don't want a second copy. But that's not the point. Let's go ahead and dive into this. Starting off with the very first one, and timestamps down below, Anunnaki, Dawn of the Gods relaunch campaign. This is a campaign that, as you might imagine, canceled and then relaunched. That's the whole relaunched aspect. And Anunnaki, Dawn of the Gods is a bunch of...
Wait. How many did you back?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't ask this. 4.
Out of 15?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to make it hard. Okay.
The shelf control. That makes it easier. Just answer no to anything. Answer no to every game and you already got 11 out of 15 right.
True story.
Yes. And I'll say, make it even easier for you, there's at least one which you're not going to have a question at all. So you're basically guaranteed to get 12 right if you just answer no to everything except for the ones that you should answer yes to. Okay?
No pressure.
Simple enough. Anunnaki, Dawn of the Gods. This is a game from Cranial Creations, which does a lot of solid Euro games, and from designers who do a lot of solid Euro games, designer of Lorenzo, of Golem, a bunch of solid designers, creating a solid 4X game, which is not a Euro game. This is 4X, expand, exploit, exterminate. Basically, this is like a heavy miniatures and interactive and aggressive game from a bunch of people who do games that are not that style. So it was very intriguing, very compelling as far as just, trying to extrapolate kind of a war Euro game into a Euro engine. You know the whole Euro and other mechanics and stuff. You know what a Euro game is versus a non-Euro game?
I think so.
Euro games are more like, let's say Castles of Burgundy or Istanbul, more like action mechanisms, and Ameritrash or conflict games, the 4X usually are more conflict-driven, more aggression, more warfare, stuff like that. But yeah, that's Anunnaki, Dawn of the Gods.
I don't think you backed it.
I did not back this one.
Score.
I wanted Anunnaki, like I want all of these games.
I was going to say you want all of these games, that's why they're here.
Anunnaki was very tempting. In fact, I had a full pledge on it at one point. I had a full all-in pledge ready to go. I was like, I got this, I'm getting this, it's good, I want it. And then I was like, you know what, I have many games, including Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy that I have not tabled yet. More and more, I'm getting better at the shelf control game. Not good, mind you. Not good, just better at the self-control game. And so Anunnaki, as much as I wanted it, the $200 price tag for the all-in was a fairly compelling, I still want it. But no, you know what? In the future, one day, the Wellerman comes to bring us sugar and tea and rum. And the second game is going to be Arcs from Patrick Leader. Arcs from Leader Games, same company that does Root. Arcs is a bunch of cute little critters in space. I actually don't know if there's critters in space, I just know Root has critters. But Arcs is a game of, how do you even describe this? Arcs is a trick-taking space combat game. You're going to be playing tricks, and the tricks are going to define whether you follow, whether you lead, to what degree you're going to lead, what actions you're going to take, are you going to break from the main actions. So trick-taking is the main mechanism around a larger game engine in which you're trying to, take control of space and stuff like that as you go through a bunch of options, a little bit of a campaign, story arc play options as well. But what are you pausing for?
I'm debating, because you don't know if there are critters in space.
Yes.
But you like trick-taking games.
Yes.
So I'm very on the fence.
Yes.
Can I go halvesies?
You could go halfsies. It counts for nothing. You're inherently wrong, because I didn't half back it. I either backed it or I didn't back it, but you could guess you half backed it. It's a valid guess.
I'm going to say you didn't.
I did not back it. see the previous conversations about the fact that I want games that I shouldn't get. And on Ark's case, it actually makes it a little easier too, because Ark's is guaranteed to be available at a reasonable price point later down the road. Leader games, their Kickstarters are not bad price points, but they're also not great price points either. They're just kind of like, hey, if you know you want the game anyway, why don't you give us money a year in advance? And I was like, you know what? I do want your game. Let's talk in like 3 years and see if people still care. Like Oath, one of their prior games, is one that I made the same decision to skip on based on that factor, and then it landed, and there was enough conflicting reports of whether Oath was good enough that I was like, you know what? I don't need it. It's fine. Maybe one day I'll play it. One day the Wellerman comes to bring us sugar and tea and rum.
Are you saying Weatherman or Wellerman?
Wellerman.
Okay, just checking.
It's Weatherman. I should have said Weatherman and then leaned heavily into it. It's Weatherman. How have you not gotten this right? It's Weatherman. One day the Weatherman comes to tell us it's going to pour rum? No. Artemis Project Satellites and Commanders. The Artemis Project Satellites and Commanders from Grand Gamers Guild is the next campaign we're looking at. This is an expansion and reprint campaign, basically, of the Artemis Project, which is a dice placement game. The Artemis Project is a dice placement game which you're going to be placing dice down in order to take a variety of benefits, trying to find the main map over here. The main board of Europa, I think it's called. We have somewhere here the main board, somewhere it's all focusing on the expansion stuff, because the expansion is Satellites and Commanders, which is 2 modules to the base game. I'm trying to show you the base game.
Didn't we play this game?
Didn't we play this game? No? Oh, you're thinking of the Artemis Odyssey. Good job. Yes. No, this is the Artemis Project. The Artemis Odyssey was from the same company and same artwork, so all those things are reasonable. The Artemis Odyssey was the one with the space planets in space and you're jumping around from planet to planet. Yes, same company, same art, different name, sort of different name, because Artemis Project, Artemis Odyssey.
Hence my confusion.
Reasonable confusion. This one you did not play with me. This is the Artemis Project, in which you're going to be placing down your dice on a dice placement zone in order to gather energy. You're gathering materials, you're gathering energy, you're upgrading your workers, you're using all those to go on these missions and accomplish the missions, ideally before the players.
Didn't you play this
across.
game, though?
I did play this game. Yes. Across 6 rounds of play. The expansion adds satellites and commanders. Commanders are like super powerful people that have a bunch of options as far as they can go anywhere and they can knock people out and they can, be moved around more easily without having to pay the resources, which doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but if you know the game, it does. Then there's the satellites. Satellites are very fun. They're basically they're going around. The satellites are going around the board in giant circles as they slowly level up into just taking the benefits of the satellites around the edges of the board.
I think you backed
It's dice placement.
Did you back it?
This is a half-seas.
You literally just said I couldn't back something by half.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it's a half Z.
So I'll give this to you either way, honestly. Because I forgot to tell you the criteria for this, which is sometimes I'm getting a copy from the publisher, and in the case of the Artemis Project, I don't know if I would have backed it. I don't know if I would have backed it. I enjoyed this. I had fun with it, more specifically with the expansion. The problem is, to get the base game and the expansion is like $100, and I don't know if I enjoyed it to the tune of $100, considering I have plenty of other games I'm not playing enough as is. I believe I'm getting a copy from the publisher, which is why this one goes into that zone of I didn't have to make the decision. I think I would not have backed it, not because it's not good, just because I have a lot of other games in shelf control. So I'll give it to you just because I forgot to tell you that. This does not count against the 4. The 4 that I backed are immaterial to this one. This is one where I don't think I would have, but I'm getting a copy. Moving on to the next seas.
That's not confusing. That's
It's
not confusing.
I should have told you. In the past, I've been telling you.
Spinning.
Moving on to The Breach from Ludus Magnus Studios. The Breach, a game of, hacking into a network. You're hacking into a network in The Breach. You're basically trying to, set up the board over here. They scroll down, let's find some stuff so you can look at. You basically have a bunch of tiles on the board that represent this network that you're hacking into, this company's network, and you are hacking in with your avatars into the network, hence breaching in or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm trying to find board. Why can't games show me the boards of the game? Here we go. You have all these miniatures on the board, and the miniatures are just representing your AI avatar in space as you wander around trying to gather data. The whole goal is to gather data based on certain objectives you have, and then other players are going to be trying to get in the way because it's you against the network, but the network is fighting against all of you, and you're fighting against other players. So I'm not really fighting against you, but I kind of want your data. So I might...
Not really?
The Matrix, but not really. I mean, loosely, sure. It's loosely.
I don't think you backed it.
I did not back it. Why not? It's got miniatures and everything.
It's too busy.
When does that stop me? Anyways, I did not back The Breach. The Breach was okay. I had a chance to play this one, and I liked almost everything going on in the game. I did not like the enemy AI system. And the enemy AI system, I felt that the enemy AI kind of ended with me taking my turn to have the enemy get in your way, and you taking your turn to have the enemy get in my way. And it felt very non-intuitive and non-thematic. I did not like the enemy approach, the way they handled it. The rest of the game, I thought was great. A fun little puzzle, beautiful art, beautiful everything, very nice thematic tie-ins, lots of leveling up. Everything is great, but then the enemy AI, which is a core part of the game, I just didn't like it at all, and so I passed on The Breach, unfortunately. From there, we have the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition.
If you did not back this, I will take a computer and drop it on the floor.
Honestly, what would have been funny is if I hadn't backed this, knowing she'll make me back this, and then it counts as one of being wrong for you. But no, I backed it, of course.
Thank
Remember I
goodness.
said this one where I obviously totally backed it, and you should say I backed it?
It's like my favorite game.
The Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. So,
My favorite
have I
game.
even shown you the...
Yes.
I did, I just show you. Okay, like all the stuff? All the fun thingies?
I'm very sure on our last video,
Yep.
when we were talking about Castles of Burgundy, you actually pulled it up on your phone so I could look at it.
That feels something I would have done. Let me go ahead and do it
Oh,
anyway.
it's so pretty.
Wait, 3D printing pack. Okay, let's go through here. Okay? This is where we have... My phone's dinking, unfortunately. I'll go ahead and unding my
alright.
phone. Look at these.
We can paint them.
Look at these. Oh, we could paint them.
We don't have time.
We should get an extra copy so we can paint it and not mess up our first copy. Look at this.
Do
Look
that.
at these.
That's fine.
Look at this.
It's very pretty.
This is the Castle of Burgundy. Castle of Burgundy is...
Very excited.
First of all, it's like number 17 on Board Game Geek. It's really highly rated on Board Game Geek. Been around for quite some time. One of our first games that we ever had in our collection, and one that, when they announced the special deluxe all-in version of the game, I was like, we're going to get it no matter what.
Correct.
Whether or not we keep it, that we can see. Who knows? We'll either keep this one or the new... Well, we might keep the old one. We're for sure keeping House of Burgundy. What if this one's terrible? What if it looks like garbage? What if the art's bad? And what if the miniatures just get in the way?
We can mix the two games together.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure. Point is, we won't
not
keep
getting
the
rid of
best version of Castle of Burgundy we need, but we're absolutely getting this. That was never a question. It was never up for debate.
So
3
excited.
million. Wow, 3 million euro raised. That's not bad at
lot.
all. I mean, it's a popular game. 22,000 people backing this one. I'm not
I'm
surprised.
very excited.
Yeah, very
We'll be
excited.
here for a long time.
It will not be here for a long time.
I'm
That is
sad.
probably true. That is probably true. But in the meantime, you know what we have?
Castles of
The
Burgundy.
Castle of Burgundy. Moving on to First in Flight. First in Flight, a historical aviation board game. 2,000 something backers pledged $111,000. First in Flight is a push your luck game of, well, flying a plane.
I'm so happy you were able to describe
Well,
Flight was.
I didn't continue describing this because do you not recognize this?
I do.
Okay, fine. There we go. 'Cause
I really like it.
You played it. I was like waiting for you to
I'm
chip
assuming
in.
you backed it.
Are you voting that I backed it?
Yes.
I did not back it.
You didn't back
I did
it?
not back it.
Why?
Self control. Because here's the
You
problem.
moved to the end of the line.
Are you sure about that?
I like this game.
You're half the reason I didn't back it.
Why?
Because you're like, it's good. I'd rather play Quacks, and I was like, okay, we'll never play this.
Just remember that little thing that I do.
Where you think about things and then change your mind later?
Look at that.
Yeah. What about it?
Can you move to the end of the line?
I'll move it to the end of the line. Okay. Okay. So for context, First in Flight is lovely.
It's a great game. I really like it.
I thought First in Flight was great, but it's also a little bit on the lighter side. And it's the kind of game that I don't see hitting like game night quite as much. And I think it's the kind of game that I'd play with you, with Ricky, with people in our lives who
was
like
very fun.
lighter games. Except those people said they prefer Quacks of Quedlinburg. So I was like, I don't know if I'll ever play this game that I like. So I responsibly said, I'm not going to back it.
I'm very happy for you.
Uh-huh.
I'm so proud.
Uh-huh. Okay.
See, it still counts. We're good now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're wrong though. I didn't back it though.
It's fine.
Anyways, moving on. Wow, to Activity. First in Flight, by the way, it really is lovely. It's push your luck, it's deck building, lots of fun things going on. I only didn't back it because I thought it wouldn't get played. Whatever. Hacktivity. Hacktivity. This is going to be another one about hacking into a network, but
You sounded
totally...
so excited
When?
right now.
But what?
This game.
About Hacktivity?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. Hacktivity, another game about hacking into a network. About a game similar to The Breach in theme, but totally different in mechanics, implementation, all of that. This is a game which you basically are faced off with these little puzzles, and you have these like kind of cards that you have to find out to get. You have to challenge them. So you're trying to figure out whether you can take down these challenges on your own, or when you rely on the rest of the team, as you try to figure out which combination of stuff you can use. It's all just like mechanics of trying to figure out the sequence of cards and mechanics you can use to take down these puzzles in front of you, and when you can turn to your team and use their help along the way.
It's a puzzle?
It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle about hacking into things. I'm trying to remember what game I compared it to. I compared it to a very specific game. I'm trying to remember what it was because it very much reminded me of a specific game that I can't remember what that specific game was. It's going to bother me. It reminded me of something else. Yeah.
Can you tell me one more time and I'll see if I can figure it out?
It's a puzzle game. It's a puzzle game about trying to figure out if you can chain things together to accomplish these challenges that are coming your way and kind of thematically hack into the network, but really just deal with puzzles.
Was it an old game that we used to play a long time ago?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what game it reminded me of. I do not remember. There's a very specific game. I remember watching through the Rado's whole thing, and there's a specific game that I was like, this feels like that game, except it looks cooler. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you backed it.
I didn't back it. I was very interested in this game. The reason I didn't back it is because of the price point of this one. The price point of this one was basically coming in around $75 for what is a card game. Now, part of that is because they're making it locally. They're making it in, I believe, in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, so they're not making it overseas, so it costs more, but you won't have to deal with some of the shipping issues and things like that. Ultimately, for me, the price point was the barrier on this one. I was interested in it. Like, my interest is... describing the game was terrible, but my interest was real. I really wanted the game, and I was considering backing it up until I saw like the $75 for a card game, at which point I was like, you know what? I like it, but self-control lives to fight another day. Moving on to Heroes of Normandy, Battle for Caen, from Devil P Games. Heroes of Normandy, a skirmish game of different sides, and going over the Battle for Caen, which is a specific...
Is this Blitzkrieg?
This is not Blitzkrieg. There's more than one game of Earl or two, sweetie.
I know that.
And this one is going to be a very tactical grid combat as you place down your troops in different orders. And you place down different numbers indicating the order of activation on those troops. So you're placing those face down. So I know you have a bunch of troops on the board, but I don't know which ones are activating in which order. And then we go back and forth, resolving our 1s, resolving our 2s. So we try to tactically outmaneuver each other using basically just tiles with all the metrics. So it's like a miniatures game, but without the miniatures and like lots of scenarios and tons of content. I didn't back it. Why not?
It's too busy.
Wow. I have busy games. I know I do. I don't know where they are, but they're busy. I have busy games. I have lots of games that are busy. This one I did not back. Primarily, I just have too many games in the... First of all, actually not entirely true. Part of the reason I didn't back this is because I've had a game called Heroes of Stalingrad in my collection for around 2.5 years, which is another game in the Heroes of Normandy system. A game I've heard very good things about, and a game that I have not tabled. I want Heroes of Normandy. I do. Specifically looking at the Battle for Caen, all this, and there's a ton of content too. There's a ton of stuff you can get for this game. But it's like, I haven't played Heroes of Stalingrad. It's been in my collection for 2.5 years. Until I play that game, I can't responsibly sit there and say, let me go out and get more in the system. It's my standard rule. I don't get expansions or alternates when I have the base.
I hear you.
You're looking at me like you're going to say something?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, cool. Kabuto Sumo, Total Mayhem, and so much more.
Oh.
This is all the expansions for all the QE stuff. All the board game table stuff. What, did I back it or not back it?
You backed it.
I did back it, in a manner of speaking.
You have bites.
I know. That's
like
why I said in a manner of speaking. In a manner of speaking is I back this. I still have to go through the pledge manager and figure out the details. But at the very least, I for sure wanted the on tour expansion. At the very least,
There's an on tour expansion.
Yes, there's an on tour expansion. There's a Bites expansion. There's a QE expansion. The QE expansion I think was less necessary for myself, but the and Kabuto Sumo I didn't like to begin with, so I don't need that one. But the expansion for Bites,
cities?
what on tour?
Yeah.
It gives you something. I haven't even looked at it. I just know it's an on tour expansion, so
Less
we're gonna get
stress.
it. Yeah, what?
Less stress.
Less stress. We're going to get the on-tour expansion is a no-brainer. The Bites expansion is just more content for Bites. And then the QE expansion is the one that I'm torn on because like I don't mind having it, but I also don't feel like I need it. I might get it for the sake of being a completionist, but that's about it. But yes, we are backing this one at the very least in some capacity. This is just a ton of content for board game tables, from base games to expansions. The focus was the expansions, but lots and lots of content for this game. From there we have... games, not games. Then we have Microcosmos. Microcosmos, a micro game. Not tiny epics, but like tiny epic adjacent in terms of what it's doing over here.
So slightly bigger.
It might be slightly bigger. Honestly, I don't even know if it's bigger. It might be the same size, but they're just not tiny epic, and so they can't call it themselves tiny epic. They probably could call themselves tiny epic. I don't know if that's copyrighted or not, but they probably wouldn't want to because it'd be confusing and it'd be really weird. And even if it's legally allowed, people would be like, why are you trying to rip off that name? And they'd get a bad taste for it in the board game space, which is fairly small and familiar.
Very long sentence.
They're all long sentences, sweetie. They're all long sentences. What do you think my videos are? One long sentence. Anyways, so Microcosmos, a micro game in space of they have tiny epic galaxies and they have microcosmos and they have like these little cars with space stuff on them. And I'm not even gonna try to explain the game. I can't tell you how this game plays. I can't.
So then you didn't back it.
I didn't back it, but I wanted it. I did want it.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
You still didn't back it.
I didn't even try. I could have told
that you're a solo gamer. How fortunate. That's funny.
I could have probably told you more. Honestly, that makes me kind of want to back it again.
Hi.
Okay, no,
I'm not.
No, be responsible, Alex. It looked cool. I could have probably told you more about it when I was covering the Kickstarter, but I've forgotten since then. I didn't bother looking into it for the sake of this video. I was like, I'm just gonna go with it, and it's fine. But it looks cool. Like, look at these little shapes jumping around these cars from location to location as you get a headache watching the spaceship and move around. Yeah, basically, it looks fun. The art looks great. The game, everything looks great. I just had no, like, maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. Who knows? I'll check it out later. It's not that I don't want to get the game. It's that I'll get the game down the road if I care enough. And in this case, I didn't care enough.
Okay.
Resist from Salt and Pepper Games.
Resist what?
Well, Resist, like the Resistance. Viva la Resistance! You're playing as the Marquis or something like that in, a solitaire game, but the Spanish Marquis and their fight against Franco. Yeah. Franco.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, this is a game about resistance. It's a game about playing as the Spanish Marquis, and the whole puzzle of the game is you have a deck of cards, but you have to choose when to use their cards for their stronger effects versus their, shuffle back in effects. So you have this option of trying to figure out when do you use the more powerful cards. When do you sit there and say, you know what, I think I can survive, I think I'm going to hold off, and I'll keep that card for later, versus when do you cash in. And at a certain point you have to cash in because you'll need those powerful effects to actually win, but it's a puzzle of trying to figure out the cards in your hand, the card management against the enemy, and then cashing in cards for their one-time powerful effects, and when you save those one-time powerful effects.
Solitaire 2, 3.
Solitaire.
I think you backed it.
I did not.
You did not?
I was very close to backing this. Very close.
Really like.
It is something I'd really like. But again, shelf control. I've just been better and better at the shelf control. I was very, very interested in this one, but also decided to hold off at the last minute. I was like, you know what? So many games, so many stuff. I can avoid this one for now. And I like the designer too. David Thompson, great designer. He did War Chest, which you've liked.
I like War Chest.
Yeah, he did other games that you play that you maybe like? I don't remember if you played other games. Well, you've
played other
games. I don't know if you played other games from him. But yeah, I was interested in this one. Great price too. It was like $20 and like that. But
That's
I was like,
what I was gonna look at because what was your price point?
part of my problem is I have a lot of these games that I'm not playing enough as it is. I'm playing them, but like I have Maquis, which is not this. This is Resist. I have Maquis, which is a great solo game. I play it infrequently. I have a whole Oniverse series, which I play infrequently. Small solo puzzle games.
That one a lot.
And I played a lot in the past, but right now I play them infrequently. I play Friday, Under Fallen Skies, all these games I'm playing infrequently. They are getting table time, just not a lot. And so like I could get this, or I could not get this. I went with the not. From there we have RuneScape Kingdoms Shadow of Elvarg from Steamforged Games. RuneScape Kingdoms based on the MMORPG video game that I never ever played from like 20 years ago, and this is basically a quest adventure game. The entire game is a bunch of spaces on a board as you move your people around the board, taking these skill tests. Everything you do is a skill test. You want to go ahead and cook that recipe, it's a skill test. Fight that dragon, it's a skill test. Roll that dice, it's a skill test. Do all those things in a skill test. You can read my quote if you want, if it gives you anything.
So
accessible and easy to dive into with enough skillings to make you want to take just one more turn until before you know it 3 hours have gone by. Skilling is the process of taking a skill test in the game. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my glasses.
What? Oh, so
glasses.
you need your contacts for seeing stuff and things. You should see someone about that, sweetie. You
I
should see
have.
someone. But the entire game is skill test, and then you have a boss fight at the end. You have a mini boss in the middle of the game. It's a very light, very procedural
I think you
game.
backed it.
Why?
Because there's only 3 games left, and you've only said yes to 2.
Your logic is sound.
Thank you.
Your logic is sound.
Did you back it?
Yeah. Your logic sound.
You see where we are?
I see where we are, and one of those is First in Flights. There's only
Yeah.
3 games left, so it means inherently of the next 2, I've only backed 1.
Yeah.
Okay, your logic is sound.
And then there was a testimonial on it, which gives it like a nice
Yeah,
little big.
I just like, why would you pick this out of all the things? Yes, I backed RuneScape, although not necessarily for the reason you think. RuneScape is actually, first of all, the only reason I backed this is to play this with Tavi, literally. To play with Tavi. I think
there are a lot of things that we.
Yeah,
have to
it is
play
a
with
lighter
that.
game. I enjoyed it, but it's definitely very much on the lighter side. The main reason why it was easy to back this one is because Steamforged Games, their Kickstarter copies, their all-ins with all the extras and all that stuff, those things hold their value like no tomorrow. This is a game that I can play it with Tavi, and if Tavi doesn't like it, I can probably sell it for twice its value. Like this happened with Bardsung as well. I backed Bardsung under the same logic of, hey, I'm interested, maybe it'll wait for me, maybe it won't be, and then Bardsung got it, played it for like, 15 hours, and I was like, you know what, now it's time to sell it, and you can sell it for twice what you paid for it.
I don't think there's been a game that Tavi hasn't liked.
That's true, but there's games he likes and there's games he asks to play, and there's a difference. If he asks to play this, we'll play it. If he plays it like for half an hour with me and never asks to play it again, but insists he likes it, I don't care. It'll eventually go.
That's fair.
This is a game that is going to go if it's not getting tabled. If it's getting tabled, I'll hold on to it, and then I'll sell it when I'm done. Because it's like, it seems like it's the kind of game, even if you go all in, it seems like it has maybe 20 hours of content in it. Not a ton of content, enough to keep us busy, and then enough to go around and sell it after the fact. So for me, it was specifically the fact that it'll hold this value and even make money that made this an easy back. But I was like so surprised you picked that one. Yeah. Anyways. Moving on to Skyrise. Skyrise from Galvin Brown's from Roxley Games, same company did Santorini and other games. Roxley, Dice Throne. Rex Locks does Dice Throne.
Okay.
This is the same artist, I think, as Dice Throne. No, this is maybe it is. I don't know if this artist is this one. Is this Manny Tremblay? No, or is it Andrew Bosley? It's Andrew Bosley. Andrew Bosley, so it's not Dice Throne artist. But anyways, this is Skyrise. Skyrise is an auction game of basically trying to auction out these little neighborhoods. Every single turn, you're going to try to place down a marker, trying to place down a building to get a spot, and then players can either let you take that spot, or they can outbid you, not on the spot you're on, but on the next spot over. So they can choose to branch and drift this auction around the neighborhood. It's a weird auction, because I'm never outbidding you on the thing you want. I'm outbidding you on something else, and then you can outbid me on something else. It's like chaining across the board as you craft this little devising auction, and when you're done, the person wins the final spot, all the other buildings are cleared, rinse and repeat the cycle as you try to earn these tokens on the spot that will also factor into your scoring.
You did not back this.
I backed this one.
Why?
Because it's delightful.
Why?
You and I actually, way back in the day, played a game called Metropolis.
Yes.
Yes. This is based on Metropolis.
Okay.
How do you remember Metropolis?
Oh, I remember random ones.
Well, we played Metropolis way back in the day as a 2-player game, which I don't think it works as well as a 2-player game. Even this one, I don't think it works as well. I think it's fine as a 2-player, but I think it works better at 3 and 4. But this is basically a deluxeified, more cool, better version of Metropolis, which I already liked. And back when we played Metropolis, we were only playing games 2 players. That was like way back in the beginning of our gaming journey. Whereas now I play the games with like more than 2 sometimes, just once in a while. Yeah.
Crazy.
And so I got this one. It's a beautiful game. It's a fun game. It was tight. I got to play it with our regular game group, not just like prototype stuff, but it's a fun game. I really like this one, and I did back this one, which also means then we get to the last one, Trailblazer, or something. Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail.
I don't remember how many we backed so far because one of them was a weird.
4. I'll count for you. We
Then
backed
you didn't
4.
back this one then.
Yeah, that is how it works. What did we back? We backed. Did I back
Castles
4?
of Burgundy.
Did I do this right? Maybe I miscounted. We backed Anunnaki,
fine.
Arcs, the Artemis Project. Did I count the Artemis Project? No. Castles of Burgundy. Castles of Burgundy.
The all-in.
Oh, QE.
Yeah.
QE. RuneScape Kingdoms.
Yep.
And Skyrise. Those are the 4. And then the Artemis Project is the half one. But yeah, this is Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. It kind of ruins the suspense over here. I gotta start rearranging things so there's always a little suspense. But no matter what happens when you get to the last one, there's no suspense. No matter what. If I tell you the number. I should always tell you. I'm gonna start doing now. I'm gonna tell you 4 or 5. No. So you don't know till the very last one.
That's not fair.
It's very fair.
No,
I love it.
not.
I love it.
Nice.
Anyways, this is basically it's a game that looked like Parks, and I thought I'd prefer to play Parks. That's the short version. I mean, I want the game or it wouldn't be here. But when I looked at this game, but like there's travel and collecting stuff and then cashing those stuff in for cars that have symbols on them. It just made me think Parks, and I was like, why do I need to try to spend like $60 to get another version of a game that I love and don't play enough and still need to play the expansion for? I need to play Parks Nightfall. Because
there are some times where you actually do those things.
Yeah. But no, I passed on this one. Because look at this. Look at the map. The map doesn't look that great. The rest of the game looked cool.
Actually, I'm not nauseous looking at it, so it's fine.
Well, that's the criteria then.
Yeah.
In any case, that is everything. Those are the games we backed, and then of course First in Flight, which will be back in as well. So we get that one back. That was going to be back before First in Flight was going to be backed. In any case, until next time. Are we wrapping up now? Is that how I do? No. I can only do. Oh yeah, this one.
No.
Usually I do if I can only back 3. But we only backed 4, so if I could only back one of them...
Castles of Burgundy.
Yes, obviously. Obviously, Castles
You would have said anything else.
Well, RuneScape Kingdoms was for the value aspect. Skyrise is nice, but not essential. And then the expansion for On Tour, I would miss out on that, but, like, we'll live. Castles of Burgundy would be the obvious and only pick. This was a lot of stuff this month that I wanted, but not as much that I felt I needed.
15 games!
Yeah. That's still a lot. June was light. Like, not light on my end. There were less Kickstarters. The fact that I found 15 to want is still impressive, all things considered. Okay. In any case, your yawn came at the end of the video.
I'm also free to try yawn halfway through. I didn't fall asleep, though.
You usually don't fall asleep. The one time you did, I switched to the top shot, and nobody ever knew.
Nope.
Yeah. Until now. Nope. No one ever knew. Even now. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
Hi, Rena.
You are playing with that thing so much today. And until next time, have a good one.